Yo guys, welcome to the video, Saber here. Today we're going to take another look at Line Pockets, which is the most played deck this faction. We saw in the top 16 qualifier yesterday, everyone brought it, and everyone brought almost identical version. There were like a few differences, but like the core concept was the same in all of them. And to start off, I'd like to discuss a little bit with you guys, like, is this the strongest deck we have had ever, or in a year, or just this patch, or what do you guys think? Because playing the deck, it kind of just feels like you don't really have any bad matchups per se. Looking at my match history here, then as you can see, I was on a very nice streak. I think I won 16 games in a row. I lost to Jess in a game where she was playing by. This version is not playing a heat wave, so sometimes against decks that greet the Vi, you can kind of get in trouble. I also lost the game to Syndicate, but to AQ Araka Swarm, where I missed like 4 or 5 goals. You know, that sort of stuff will always happen, but most of the time, like, it just feels like you're playing a deck where you have so many points, you have so much control, and you have very strong abusive powers in round 1 where you can win uneven, or at least get round control here on blue coin with your halflings and justice. It kind of just does everything really well, and doesn't have any obvious weaknesses, because, you know, since everyone brought line pockets to the top 16 qualifier, you would imagine that if it was possible to target it, someone would have tried it, but no one really bothered. Most people just banned it. It's just not a deck that has any weakness that can be exploited. So in my opinion, this is just like the strongest deck right now, probably this year. I think the last time we got a deck that was of similar power level was back when the Skomegalul archetype was introduced in July, I believe it was, where we got Blood Eagle, Herald, all these cards, and the deck was just very powerful compared to everything else at that point, and it felt very oppressive to play against. The only deck that could repeat was Nilfgaard, but even that was kind of difficult. Other than that, I think maybe back when, that's like quite a long time ago now, but like back when Foltest with double boost leader charges were introduced, so like back when you could use the Foltest charge to give 2 boost to Anasaeus or Prince. Back then, I think it was quite strong. Like, that was probably also one of the most impressive decks we have had. But I think, at least in newer times, this is definitely up there with one of the strongest decks. It might be a little bit more tricky to play in some of the other decks, because you have to manage your coins and stuff. But for the most part, it is honestly pretty straightforward, I would say. And I think most pro ladder players should be able to pilot it to 2600 and above pretty easily, as soon as the MMR inflates a little bit. So, regarding what build that's best built, then let's take a look at that deck builder here. So, this is the version I've been playing. And as you can see, like, a lot of the cards are pretty similar to what you've seen in other people's decks, but I would still like to discuss this because there are different versions going around. So, first of all, some people like to run Saul instead of Sir. I think that's an awful idea. This card is a very powerful engine. It's not very easy to kill because it got 1 armor, so it like goes into the 6 damage range where there aren't that many answers. It is like, can go super tall, can easily go to 15 points or more in some situations. And it's just, you know, the crown flip attack as well, giving some synergy, making it easier to get turn roll value. Obviously, it's a little bit slow sometimes. That is the downside of the card, but I think the ceiling of the card is just so high that it's kind of crazy not to play it. So I highly recommend going for a version that plays Sir over Soul. Now, the next kind of option you have in building the deck is, do you want to run Redanian or do you want to run Heatwave? Now, in my opinion, I think Redanian is the better card. You're only going to play 16 cards throughout a game, and all of your cards are honestly really good. So by playing the Flying Redanian, you're getting a potential of 3 points each round additionally. By playing the Heatwave, you're only getting a Heatwave once, right? And sure, the Heatwave is a powerful card, but it's also a card that doesn't trigger any of your crime synergy, so your Intimidate tag. So, you know, like, playing Heatwave compared to playing something like a Pickpocket, you're already losing a bunch of points. Now, sure, if you're Heatwaving a ball, if you're Heatwaving a 30-point Jackal, that's good, don't get me wrong, but the thing is on ladder, a lot of people still respect it a little bit, be like, oh, okay, like they might be running Heatwave, I'll just, be a little bit careful, when in fact you're not, right? So, I think it just makes sense not to play it on ladder and just have more points from the Redanian. So I like it for the gold. I think almost everyone is playing Jack, Siggy, Cleaver, Justice, Philippa. I mean, these cards, they can't just set in stone. And then if we go down here a little bit, obviously people are playing Tundra and Gold as well. But now there's like a few question marks down here because some people don't like to play Pickpocket. They're saying, hey, why don't you just play Swindle? Swindle is doing the same thing for 2 Aspiration. And they're not completely wrong, but I also think they're looking at it the wrong way. Because the thing is that Swindle, sure, if you have confidence on the board, it's playing for 7 coins because of leader. Whereas Pickpocket is playing for 8, right? That's only a 1 point difference. The thing is that you have so many, like you need some mulligan targets, and your 4P cards are so good already. So if you can pay, in this situation, 2 provision to upgrade a 4P card, get 1 extra point on your 4P card, which is essentially what you're doing when you're playing Pickpocket in the Swindle, I think that's quite often worth it, because, that 1 extra point just means that you're getting more efficient mulligans. A lot of people are playing a bunch of 5P cards instead, like they're playing Eavesdrop, and they are playing Smuggle, right? So they play Smuggle and Eavesdrop. And again, like, you're getting the tags, you're getting more solid cards, but you're just already having so many of them. So I feel like just, like, playing one of the best crime cards just makes sense, if you ask me. That being said, with this deck, like, honestly, you can't go entirely wrong regardless what version you're playing. It is just so strong that, like, you will do well, I promise. Changing these 4P cards around, whatever build you end up going with, you will do great, I'm sure. But so this is basically the deck that I prefer playing. Let's just jump into a few games and see if we can improve our score. Okay, so we got a mirror. That is by no means a big surprise, guys. Mirrors are very common at this MMR. Generally in the mirror, I think you want to try to see if you can win round 1 and push round 2. But it kind of depends on how your hand looks, to be honest. This hand is in a lot of ways very decent, I think. I think I might actually keep here, because what's nice about this hand is that we have the double safe cracker from Oneiromancy. We do have a nice amount of crimes in hand, we do have a spender, and we do have our most important cards around there on 2 please. I think we just keep here. And then we have to see how it plays out here. Because we do definitely have a few different lines you can take. Now we just start here, trading halflings. So he doesn't go for the justice play, so I think we are going to try to punish that by going justice ourselves. It is a tough decision to make on blue coin. But the issue is he has now is that if he goes for it now, then I mean, he might still be fine, but he wasted some points by taking the sequencing. He doesn't go for the Furco, so I think he has enough points without the Furco, which is interesting. And he might end up being fine. Might even go for Little Charge here just to get the boat out, to be honest. So next play, we play for 3 damage, 2 engine value. Right. So it plays for 8 points, which is just enough by 1, I believe. So now it's like very close, right? Like we have same coins, we have same engines. We just have to see if we can outvalue him here or not. Kind of just depends on hand quality. We can do the exact same thing as him. Or just mirror that play. Kind of funny, to be honest. But if he has enough crimes, then we might end up getting in trouble. Okay. Hmm. This could be a turn where we played Philip. I usually don't like this play too much. But I think in this situation it might actually make some sense. Because we're just gonna get by one play, we get some carryover. Honestly, buffing my own Flying Redeemer is probably a mistake. Let's try to see if we can win uneven here. This plays for 7. And then 1 leader charge again, I think. That's what we have to do. I would very much like to keep on to hold on to my cleaver here. I think he's out of Crimp as well, looking at how he played here. He goes for Siggy, so Siggy should get him out. But he actually decides not to use the coins, so we can do this. And we'll have to see what he has in this last card here. And if you want to try to use Cleaver to take the round still. Because Philip up back, okay. So looking at the commitments here, it's pretty even, I think. The question is this card worth less or more than a card, right? Played Siggy, I didn't. The rest of the commitments are pretty similar. So I think I might just pass on this. Gives me first say in round 3. I obviously used 2 leader chat, so I have a little bit less carryover. But I mean, maybe if I find pickpocket this round, then we will actually get full coin carryover, and then we will be ahead again. So kind of depends how it goes, I think. I'm just gonna use my pickpocket here in the dry pass, I think. Plus leader charge. Yeah, so obviously it means that I might miss out on some very crucial cards, which would suck. But I think it just makes sense, to be honest. So technically I will have 7. I will actually have more coin carryover than him going to round 3, even though I use 3 leader charges, because I have 4 carryover and only 3 leader charges, whereas he has 6 leader charges, but not 0 carryover. Now it's just very important that we draw our gold cards here. Very good. So we just need to find the tunnel roll here. Okay, I think the sign should win. The question is, do we go for immunity in this one? I'm not sure if we can be bothered to do so, to be honest. We don't have that many crimes in hand. I think we just float it. If you want to go bloody good fun on it, I don't think we mind too much. Then I'm gonna play this. Then I'm probably gonna play my Siggy. Maybe Jack first. What's he gonna do here? He just goes for bloody good fun. Which is okay, it's not a big issue for us. We can go Jack first just to maximize our points a little bit better. Means we get the drill down 1 turn later, but I don't think that's going to be a big issue. Go Siggy. Preparing the drill to wipe his board. He can go drill here himself, but he doesn't have any coins, so it's not very scary. I think we should just be good here. Because we drew all of our gold and he committed one more high-end card than we did round 1 in his Siggy. So now he has to play a dip instead. And yeah, that should just make the difference, I think. Yeah, he has to spend because otherwise his drill is going to be bad, but now he just doesn't have any coins left for the drill to use. This is fine, to be honest. Then we can just use the last charge into drill maybe next. I'm not even sure if killing the cleaver was correct there. We kind of lost some points to the armor, but everything else was damaged anyway, so it should be fine. Goes for the gourd now. Wonder what his last card is then. But I don't see us losing to anything here. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, like in this situation again, we kind of see why having first say is better, because I get to develop my drill before I can develop his drill. And another mirror, guys. I'd love to show off some different matchups as well, but the thing is that this MMR, it's basically all mirrors you're playing. At least we get to play it from the different coin perspectives, so we can kind of take a look at how you're supposed to play it here. So obviously we kick the Redanian, that's a brick. You never really want to have double Jackal in your hand. And the gourd is just not very good round 1. That is, however, very, very bad, guys. The issue here, in case you're not familiar with the deck, is that we're playing Justice, and Justice only target is the Safecracker. So we need to find a way now where we can just play a few cards and get out. But my Safecracker is not very big, and I think that will be very difficult, to be honest. We'll try to see if we can find a way to get away with it. At least the Safecracker isn't very big either. Gonna do this, be a little bit aggressive here, just to make sure we don't end up in trouble. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Let's try to go for like a weird play here. We go for the tempo pass. Basically just say I don't think he can do these points on 2 cards without playing Justice. And that's the case, then this is fine. Then we just get longer and 3 at first say. And him not having a Surfer on 3 is quite good for us as well. Can be a quite powerful card if played correctly. Okay, so now he needs to do 13 points here, 14 points to get ahead. I don't think he has a good way of doing that again, unless you want to commit the Justice. But if he commits the Justice, I don't think we are too upset about it either. And then we can safely just mulligan away the Halfling, and then we have the Justice to protect the bleed, if we should do it anyway. Somehow make up the points. Obviously we're still missing a bunch of good cards here. Okay, so we're going to get the long run 3 at first say here. And we have only made similar commitments in the Halflings, but he also played a Sir here. I used 1 leader charge, but I don't think that's enough to really make, like, I think playing a good card is a bigger commitment, by far. So I'm just gonna mulligan this, just in case he decides to beat anyway, but I find it to be very unlikely. Pretty nice draws here. Would be nice if he doesn't get a chance to build up a coin carrier here. Maybe as a swindle. Swindle would be good for him here. Swindle or pickpocket. But if he doesn't have swindle or pickpocket, then he will just have to go into round 3 with with 1 coin carryover, which is rather underwhelming. Goes for the swindle. Let's see if he high rolls. Oh wow, he high rolled. Very interesting information we're getting here, guys. He goes to 9 coins without thinning the boat. That means that he should be playing Heatwave instead. So that is something we need to watch out for. We can start with our own swindle here. That seems fine. And then we're probably just gonna take... Could thin Jack Cal maybe. Don't really want Jack Cal. Thin Jack Cal and then just... I mean, we could also... Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this. Play the Jack Cal just to like improve the gourd. And then we can also go for a shakedown here. So we get max gourd carryover, max coin carryover. First say, so if we draw well here, I would feel pretty comfortable, but we are still missing quite a few crucial cards, so it can still go very wrong. Not so good so far. The paydays are worse than the 4P cards. Okay, that was a risky mulligan. We didn't get punished for it. You're going to miss 1 good card here. Gourd or Jack. But let's see, we might still be able to manage. So I think I should start Sir. The question is, should we give it... I don't think it makes sense to give it... Because, like, you would have to play Bloody Good Fun to kill it, which would mean, like, him emptying his tank and stuff. I think that's okay. Alternatively, he will have to tunnel drill it, but that requires him to... I think I can read this. It might turn out to be wrong, but I think it makes some sense, because, like, if you fill up heads, we just fill up her back. And tunnel drill, it will already have grown quite a few times because we can go justice and cleaver and that sort of stuff. So on the other hand, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crime cards in hand, so it's a tough one. Well, you could of course also be running Erden, in which case we're kind of in a bad position. But assuming it's an unearned version, I think we're in a pretty good position here. Goes for the Furco. This does set up his tunnel drill, but early tunnel drill we can also just answer that. He only has 1 crime card in hand here. Let's just go for the cleaver, to be honest. Should be careful not to play too many units front row, actually. Goes for this, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Just gonna go Sticky here, steal it back. Please go back row. So this is really annoying because that means when I steal it, it will come front row and it will block the value I get from my... It will block the intimidate value in the cleaver, but we should be okay still. Should be okay. It's gonna buff that out of... Ah, that's actually quite a cheeky play. However, let's see how much it buffs us here. It looks cheek, and it kinda is, but I also think that this is a good turn just to play the Tunnel Drill and kill it. The question is, like, I'm not sure if it's worth it to kill this anymore. Although if we kill him, we make his Tunnel Drill worse, so maybe it is worth it. Maybe I don't suggest this. Obviously, we'll be wasting some points here, which doesn't feel great. I'm not sure if it was entirely correct to make this sequence of plays, but let's see. I guess he will just go for his own cleaver now. Yeah, it probably didn't make too much sense, to be honest. We'll go for Furco next, I think. We'll still play for really good value. But obviously we are kind of coin starved here. So if I ping it with the dip here, it goes down to... It goes from 8 to 5, then I get 4 coins. I think it's just worth it to kill it now, to be honest. Like, obviously this does mean that we lose some points on our justice here from the safecracker, but still think it makes sense. Now he kills it, that's fine. It's a very slow play from him. We don't really need that much more anyway. So now we go for this. I'm still gonna play for like a decent value here, I think. So now we probably just try to build up some coin carrier up, probably try to deal with the blacksmith, and then we set up the Philippa. Not coin carrier, because there's no other round, but you know what I mean. And if he goes Tunnel Drill here, then he will get two pings, which is obviously, that's worth something, but at the same time it's also not that scary, to be honest. It really isn't. I'm expecting cards like Heatwave, Erden, at least one of them, to come down here, given that he didn't play boat himself. The question is which one of them is going to be. Now we play around that the best way possible. Goes for the Tunnel Drill here. I assume he'll try to protect it. Yeah, he goes for the protection line, that makes sense. I'm gonna protect this guy, I think. The question is if we have enough coins to make this really scary. I guess we're just moving it to 9 now, so it didn't actually make that much sense. If he has Siggy here, it's actually kinda, yeah, it's kinda scary. This is a lot of points from the opponent. Okay, he decides to finish that off completely. Interesting choice. Don't think he has any more crimes. I think it might be better just to kill this one off, to be honest. Again, we should expect this card to be heat waved. Now it's pretty close. I think I might just steal the tunnel drill here.
I'll never be imprisoned again.
And I expect he probably has, so his best finisher here is scored and jack. I'm not sure if that wins. It might win, to be honest. Yeah, I'm actually scared that that might win. Because my god is going to be... Is my god going to... So his god is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's a 9. And 9 plus... And double on Iromancer, right? So it's 11 plus minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I also have, I think, is it a Thailand? So my god is a 12, 13, this is also a 13, so it's exactly the same. Because I cannot spend my last coin.
Gaze into my eyes.
I think... Actually, what's it better? No, this is fine, right? I think this is... But I think he wins by 1 point, right? Oh, it's a tie. Okay, it's a tie. Yeah. Okay. So we played a mirror. Almost played the same card. I thought me having first say was more of an advantage, but maybe his heat wave evened it out. I think, to be honest, I don't think it was the card. I think it was more the fact that I decided to waste some tunnel drill pings early on. I think I should have saved them. And that would probably have given me the edge, I think. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know what you think about Line Pockets. Do you think it's the strongest deck right now? Do you think it should be nerfed, or do you think it's actually just fine? See you in the next one.